feels like it's a real good time at the moment for Northern Irish comedies. Feels like there's got a sense of like Manchester in the sort of late 90s, early 90s with.
And I think, is it okay if we're rolling?
Sorry, let's start. Whenever you want. Yeah.
Because I think that's why like a lot of the, we go to like Manchester, Liverpool, Glasgow, Newcastle, and it just feels like everyone kind of gets each other.
Yeah, I think so. I was just saying actually that I first came to Belfast in like 2000, something like 2001, and they were the first gigs I did out of Manchester.
Right, okay.
So I'd done Manchester, Liverpool a little bit, but I came here before I did London, before I did even Leeds.
Did it feel like a big deal at the time? That you were
it felt
getting
massive,
on a plane,
like flying to a gig, like, you know what I mean? Staying in some
22-minute flight.
Staying in a little B&B. And... but I think there's like a connection. I think because a lot of comics said to me, "Oh, it's hard over there. They don't like us. They don't like us." But obviously, as comics, you say whatever you say, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking that's because they've not seen me yet.
Yeah.
Like you've always got that ego,
But I think those cities that buys you a lot being from Manchester.
Yeah,
working class cities.
Working class, I think, not London.
Yeah.
Is big.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, let's be honest. And football, Judge Best, Manchester United, Liverpool, all that sort of stuff. So that all helps. But it was all wicked gigs.
But would that have been around the time? Because before my time, there was like a circuit of gigs.
Yeah.
The visiting comedians did, where it was like Belfast, Coleraine, and Derry.
Yeah, you would go and do.
So you did that?
Yeah, you go and do a handful of them. Yeah.
And was that circuit. Was that? I'm guessing that's like pre-showbiz almost, where it's not like there's no chauffeur there. It's like...
Oh, no, it was brutal.
In the back of the promoter's car, maybe.
Yeah, it was brutal. Like, stood on a upside-down crate in the corner of a club, like, just some chairs together. Yeah, it was... And it was like, it was pretty brutal. It was like, sink or swim,
But that's always the fear. The first time gigging away from home is, will they get what I'm saying?
Yeah, accent, reference points, so many, like, moments when you first start.
Yeah.
And actually, because one of my first jokes was about playing Belfast Empire, and I did it live at the Apollo. It was like the first time I ever did it, 2005, and that was about getting heckled. And obviously, there'd been the Manchester bomb, the IRA bomb in Manchester, and a guy. Obviously, I'm going to deconstruct this now, so it won't be quite as funny as when I perform it. But I'll just be honest about it, because so on the night, the guy shouted. I said, I'm from Manchester. I'm like 19. Like, I'm literally been going about 18 months. And this guy shouted out, "Did you enjoy the bomb?" And it sort of got, like, not a big laugh, like, from the audience. The audience were a bit like
it's out of pocket.
This guy's visiting us. Like, he's and because up to that point, like, even now when I come over, but definitely sort of 20 years ago, people would stop you in the street and say, "Thank you for coming to Belfast."
Yeah.
Because for so long, nobody came.
People wouldn't,
Yeah. And so if you came over doing a musical, doing a bit of theatre or stand-up, they were like, people start thanks for coming.
Because we had to go to Dublin.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see somebody good,
of course, yeah.
You had to travel for it.
And the line I use in when I did it on stage was, he said, "Did you enjoy the bomb?" And I said, "Yeah, nobody died and we got a new next." was the gag. And of course, as you know, in comedy, that's not what happened. Yeah. I shit myself because I was like, "Hang on, that's a bit brutal." Sort of stumbled out of it, and then about a week later, I was talking to my dad, and he went, "You know what you should have said?"
Right.
Well, from now on, that's what I will have said.
Yeah. But at that age, like, to receive a heckle like that, like, you've nothing to give back.
Not at all. No, especially of course with the accent as well, where you're going, "Did he?"
Yeah.
He can't. He did.
Yeah. But though, and Derry, like, I remember, like, even when I was starting, that was, people would say, like, there was an English comedian here, like, last month, and you want to hear what happened. Yeah. It was never, he had a great time. Yeah. It was always the worst.
Brutal, yeah. But I like those gigs. It's like even when I gig at home, I love obviously gigging in Manchester, but gigging in Liverpool is brilliant, because that rivalry for comics, I always say, over a certain IQ level, it's just a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And under it, someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? If you've sort of got something about you, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even without 800 years of history behind it, there's still fun to be had with the rivalry. That's what.
And I think when you play with the line,
of course,
it's always good.
Always fun. Yeah.
Speaking of playing with the line,
oh yeah,
I've played paddle 5 times.
That didn't take you long to get paddling.
5 times. Look at no. I had a real embarrassing moment this morning when I was like, I know you're a big paddle guy.
Yeah.
I just got into it. We started a YouTube channel because I'm a beginner in it.
Yeah.
And I got sent some nice paddle gear. I put it on this morning, and then I was like, this is too much that I've worn this for you. You're going to think I put it for you coming on. I'm trying to impress you.
Good.
Yeah.
I noticed I did message a couple of times if you fancy a game, and you blanked me both times.
No.
I thought, oh, he's really not forthcoming.
Sippers, this episode of the Tea With Me podcast is sponsored by none other than that prize guy. I'm talking about Ireland's largest prize competition page, and there isn't a doubt about that. Prize guy has made 10 millionaires. That's absolutely insane. Just everyday people having their lives changed with £1 million. There's also competitions from, I would say, from the bottom to the top, but even, and you won't mind me saying this, even prize guy's bottom is impressive. Isn't that right, Dan?
If you say so.
Give me an example of a prize going on there right now on that site, prizeguide.co.uk. That prizeguide.co.uk.
A Porsche 911 Carrera 4 GTS.
Whoa.
Or £80,000.
I'd say to be in with a chance to win that, a ticket would be
90p, that's right. 90p.
90. So if you give him a pound, he's handing you 10p
It
back?
can be 10p back.
10 pence a piece?
Yeah.
That's insane. Thatprizeguy.co.uk. The link is in the description. I need you to listen to me when I tell you. I'm going to point you in the direction of the Tea With Me Patreon. That's patreon.com/Tea With Me podcast. Yes. Frosty says yes. Ad-free episodes every Tuesday. But then you'll miss this. Come on now. Some people only tune in for the ads. We have specials on there. We just put out the SSE Arena show in its entirety. That's exclusive to Patreon. There's a million other specials on there. And also we will be releasing tickets for our next 2.
They're probably on sale now. At least one of them is on sale now.
What? We're doing The Chase, a Patreon special with some of your favourite Tea With Me regulars. And we have a very special chaser. And also we're doing Kill Toddy again in the black box. Tickets exclusive to Patreon. The specials ETP exclusive to Patreon. Again, the link is in the description. I wish we could have played because that would have been a lot of fun. But I'm too new to it.
Right.
And I have I try and slam it too much.
That's all right.
No, it doesn't.
It sounds like the perfect player.
No, I hit the wall every time.
Right.
I can't get it right. But is your life at the minute, because you're on tour?
Yeah.
Paddle by day, gig by night?
Pretty much, yeah. I've
nice.
already worked out my next tour to do venues that are near paddle courts, yeah.
Right,
and
yeah.
I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
Yeah.
On a next level.
Oh, I'm it's
love
my
it.
life now.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'm going to get my own racket soon.
Well,
I'm going to get the gear, and I'm just really into it.
I'll send you some links. I'll send you some. Oh yeah, I'll help you out. Yeah, I'll see what.
I would love it. I would
it's
love
so
it.
funny, isn't it? Because we're still at a point where it's such a new sport. People are like, "What, on water?"
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's not tennis on water, is it, you idiot? So it's so new, but it's once you've played it. But I mean, we were lucky in Manchester. We got about 100 courts, so there's loads.
Because it lends itself to
Oh,
being on tour. Because normally we would go we'd go to the gym, we'd go for a swim during the day at some club, because William, who you're going to be gigging with, he's got a David Lloyd's membership.
Oh, look
so
at
we
it.
rent that.
Oh, fancy.
So you're talking fancy. We're in the Dunfermline David Lloyd's, just doing whatever we want. Sauna was closed, nightmare. But
you're making stand-up sound a lot healthier than it is.
Well, that's the thing. It has totally changed.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be just sleeping and wanking till 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
and now
that's you're doing that until 9 a.m.
Yeah, now I'm thinking, I've got a paddle game. I can't do both. I can't
definitely
do both.
not at the same time.
I've not got the electrolytes for both, so I need to focus on one or the other. So yeah, it's I love it.
I get well into it. I'm just not, but I'm too competitive, and I'm not good at it yet.
Yeah,
I'm all right, but I'm not good at it. And
that's most blokes, to be fair.
But I don't I'm playing against guys who you think you're at the same level, and then they start playing properly. Yes. Because I say, play properly, don't go easy on me. Yeah. And then they start hitting the ball, and I go, go easy on me.
Down, yeah. Well, I have this thing where, obviously, I sort of get in touch with the club a few days before. have you got a space? Obviously, I don't know anybody. I don't know any of your members. Can you find me a couple of players? Yeah. And I played out. I go, I only play little. Don't go. I don't want someone wicked at it. Just get someone. And then you rock up, and it's often like the coach says, "Oh, I'll play." I think, "Oh, okay." Or something like anybody who's like Alfonso, Alfredo, like anyone's got a Spanish or Portuguese name. I'm like, fuck that. I'm find me a Nigel.
You want to play a Brian?
Yeah, I want to play
Brian and a Nigel in doubles.
That's what I want. As soon as I see a Spanish name,
a Graham. You're not going to lose to your Graham and paddle.
Like game over. Yeah. So, but it's it's a lot of fun. But it's just I've got a charity as well. I've got a paddle academy for children because I was sort of playing and then I was looking around thinking, hang on, there's a lot of blokes playing this of a certain who've got time and money to play because it's expensive. It can be expensive. You know, when you start looking at those rackets, you'll see.
And then they say about the balls, they go, but I think this might be a bit of a racket, no pun intended. They go, when you open the packet of balls, you can only play with them once.
Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about that, but you do notice it. You know,
I as soon as someone told me that, I was like, we've got to get new balls every time.
It adds up. Yeah.
Have you done like away trips for paddle?
Yeah, we did one in January. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
16 lads. And we went to Portugal, and it was fab. It was absolutely brilliant because I've never really done golf trips and all that.
Yes,
but it was it's brilliant. Yeah. Just play paddle all day, then eating and drinking in the evening, and I thought this is for me.
Because sometimes when you're touring and you do some class like that during the day, the only thing that ruins it is the gig at night.
Yeah, it hangs over you, doesn't it?
Gotta go to work.
It does hang over you.
Gotta stand up.
Yeah, but it's what's good. I think is. See, this is where I think men need to capitalise on the popularity, if that's the right word, of mental health, right? Because everyone's talking about mental health out there. And it's hard to say to your wife, look, the lads are going away for 4 days, it's paddle and drinking. Yeah. But if you slip in, look, it's a mental health retreat weekend. You know, the lads just need to talk, and you know, they can't stop you.
Yeah,
they can't stop you.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, look, what if something happened to Dave? How bad would you feel that we didn't? So I just think use mental health,
and you need the good weather for vitamin D, and
this is it.
All that
you've got it. You've got it.
So it's a mental health. So twice a week I'm going to have a mental health retreat.
Just for mental health. Because what happens when you're married is your wife is very supportive of things like fitness until you look like you like it. And then as soon as you enjoy it, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So for a while, she's like, oh yeah, Jason's going to the gym. And then after a while, she's like, oh, you're going to the gym again? Like it becomes that. And the same thing was happening with paddle.
No,
so
mental health retreat's great.
So just stick with mental health.
Yeah. Where are you on your tour? As in, like, you'd start a tour, middle, end?
Oh, like I'm 180 dates in, but there's still 100 left. So is that middle? I don't know. Probably 2/3.
180 dates.
180 days. Yeah, but I tour properly.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these comes to a city centre and says you come to me. I'm like, no, I'll come to Coleraine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're doing like multiple nights in Coleraine too.
Yeah, because you got to, you know,
it's like Manilow in Vegas.
Exactly.
Manford and Coleraine.
That's it.
Because also, I thought it was mad because the theatre's now closed, and I was like,
oh, we'll fine. So we did the place at the university. Yeah.
You're just like, no, I'll still do it around there.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, if you want some black drapes, it's 400 quid." I was like, "I don't need black drapes. I'll just do it to I'll just stand in front of this lectern."
They better be the best drapes you've ever
I was like,
seen.
I'm fine, just as long as it's. To be honest, it's like you can because of stand up, because you come from absolutely nothing. You played gigs in the shittiest places. Nothing on tour. Nothing is worse than what you've done.
Yeah, of course.
So even if you're rocking up to what I do is I get the map of the UK and Ireland, and I go right. Put a circle of 20 miles around every gig and then colour it in. And then if there's anything green left, let's find somewhere that we can do, whether it's a sports hall or a tent in a, we'll just
I see where you're going with this. A sports hall, maybe paddle courts.
If there's, right guys, you've got to go on a game at 10.
You're on a callback and there's like two lads just serving at the side.
So honestly, sometimes though, I've played... Like there's one in Kendal in the lakes, which is literally, when you look down. Remember at school, it was the wood floor and then like the white stripes, red stripes, all that. That's the gig. You do.
Well, Morrissey did a leisure centre tour.
Oh right, okay.
He did a tour, I think, like 15 years ago, of leisure centres and did a load in Northern Ireland.
Brilliant.
And I was just like, it'd be mad to watch this charming man where like. When guys are getting too impatient for their five-a-side starting, just like creeping onto the stage, doing keepy-offs. What's the most, because obviously you'll be doing like, you know, big cities and like lovely venues, but what's like the nichest you'll, what's like the smallest you'll go on this tour?
Well, we started off small, and then we like little 80-seaters, 100, because I do, you know, within those 280, I'd say 60 gigs are warm-up gigs.
Right, yeah.
Like just trying stuff out, reading off bits of paper and playing comedy clubs or small. There's a little room at the Lowry in Salford near where I live, which is 100 seats, and I just do 3 weeks there, 2 shows a night, just, you know, and just smash it out. But so probably those are the sort of venues really, and then right up until, and then we're doing the Co-op Live in Manchester, which is their our big one. So that's like, and we just released the top
Class.
floor, yeah. So that's great, because I've done the arena a few times. We do a handful of arenas, but they're hard work, you know. They're hard to sell, and you'd literally just go, where are these people who smash 18 nights for Peter Kay?
Yeah.
Like, where do you go?
You think they only come out for his show?
They literally do. So I spoke to the guy at Ticketmaster, because I said, I don't understand, right? This is not me. This is not my ego talking.
Yeah.
This is just the algorithm, right? If Peter Kay had a special on Netflix and you finished it, afterwards it would say, if you enjoyed this, you might also like Jason Manford.
Yes.
We are not so different. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a genius, he's an absolute another level, but as far as style and accent and topics and all that are concerned, so where do these people go? They come out, he sells out these arenas, you can't get a ticket, and then you put yours on, and it dribbles to, don't get me, we do well out of it, but it dribbles to fill in one night. And he said the last show these people saw was Peter Kay 12 years ago.
Do you think he's growing people? He'd have the money for it, like.
Do you know what?
You think there's a lab outside Bolton somewhere, a big factory?
It's the only explanation.
Where he's just like cryogenically freezing these people and then they thaw them out.
He sort of got this, like, he's hit the sweet spot now, you see, because his act is nostalgia.
Yeah.
His act is so based in nostalgia, but he's also been doing it for so long, he's also now become nostalgia. So he's like this 360 comic. It's unbelievable. He's like, do you remember this thing that I used to do? It's perfect comedy.
And it's that long ago, no one remembers if it really did happen. He could be making this
absolutely.
up.
But do you know what? Seriously, what I love about this is why I love comedy, and I love comics, and I go and watch loads of comedy as well, and I watch like you guys. And your clips pop up online. Is the special thing about comedy, and I think it's more than any other art form, is that you go and see them, and with somebody you love, your family, your friends, your partner, whatever, and that person on stage makes these people you love laugh.
Yeah, you're watching them.
Yeah,
more
so there's
than
there's this affinity, and that's why people like Peter are so successful, because you remember that they made your parents, your grandparents, your partner, whatever, laugh, and that's what's special. That's what I think is special about comedy.
Was that ever almost like difficult when you were starting off? That you're from, like, were you both like? I know he's Bolton, but like, from a similar area.
No, him being so successful was the reason I was successful. Okay. I think when I look back, it's. There was obviously his popularity, his brand, the accent, the background. We got very similar, sort of English fathers, Irish mothers. Family was very similar, and he was already. I mean, he was already like a legend in the Northwest when I started. He was already headlining clubs, winning awards. He was just about to get his TV series, and he was a real help, to be honest. Like on a personal level, he took me under his wing a little bit and helped me out. Gave me good advice, but also just on a national level, people wanted Peter Kay, but Peter Kay didn't want to do a lot of things. He didn't want to do panel shows. He didn't want to do, and I did.
Yeah.
And then, so they were like, right, he's not doing it. Who else is around? Like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like, so I was there, So yeah, definitely that it was a big help, and he was just great at advice. Even now, there's things that he said that stick with me.
Yeah.
When I remember saying to him once, I was an open spot, and he was giving me a lift back home after this gig, and I said, how do I make the leap to what you're doing? And at this point, he might have been on his first tour, but again, playing 400-500 seaters, but still he was touring, and he'd done some bits on TV and stuff, and I said, how do I get to? And he said, how much are you working? And I said, well, 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, and I spend a day on the phone trying to get gigs, and then 4 nights a week, 3-4 nights a week, 20 minutes a night. He said, right, so what's that, an hour? What, 4 hours a week? I went, yeah, I suppose. And what about writing? I was like, yeah, I pick up the paper and I've got me 20 minutes, and you know. And he said, well, the rest of the country's working 45 hours a week.
Yeah.
So why, just because you do what you do you think you're any different, any better than them? And that really stuck with me. That was 20 odd years ago, and it still sticks with me now when I'm playing paddle instead of writing jokes. but
do what I do. This is why I lose. Do both at the same time. Why I lose just one hand.
Reason, yeah.
Sipper Sound the Klaxon. We have a new sponsor on the Tea With Me podcast. We're talking about DELI Lights. Born and bred, pun intended, in Warren Point. And this is sort of... I'm talking about food that feels homemade, because it is. These guys started out just making local sandwiches. They've become award-winning, and you can spot it all over the island and even further afield. You can't move for DELI Lights. I'm talking sandwiches, wraps, tray bakes, proper food you'd make yourself if you had the time. Look at this here. Let me see this here. The fiery turkey bagel. There's a bit of protein in that. Look at that. 23 grams of protein. I've got the salt and chili chicken goujon wrap there. Jesus Christ. Taco chicken goujon wrap. Me, look at that there. There you look at that there. Oh, look at that.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh, Jesus. Salted caramel brownie. Oh, my Lord. Look at that. That's insane.
Fosty's
smell it all day.
Worked his way through a box of this already.
Completely ruined the shot as Grady got his taken one. DELI Lights are all over the place. Chances are, if you're in a shop or deli and you look in the fridge, there's DELI Light products in there. Look, your local centre of Super Value, and even big Tesco's. I mean, that's a local company getting in the big Tesco's. If you're hungry near a fridge, head over to DELI Lights. They run a competition at DELI Lights, DELILITES.com. If you sign up to their newsletter, you can have a chance to win one of these 50 limited edition Tea With Me DELI Lights mugs. And what they've done on there has been extremely controversial and put on 5 stages of tea, colours of tea, to see what is the acceptable one. For me, it's a 4. It's a builder's tea, and I say that as a man who's built nothing bar this podcast empire. One lucky winner can win also a year's membership to our Patreon, and you can double your chances of winning by following DELI Lights on Instagram for an extra entry. All the details for that are in the description. I don't know about you, but I'm hungry.
But it's just like little bits like that, and he helped me get into university and things like that when I didn't think I was going to make it. And I didn't.
He's put a word in.
Yeah, he'd done the course at Salford University, and I'd not got the right grades really to even be seen. It was for media and performance, so it was an audition rather than a written thing. And he'd anyway, he said you should go, and I said I've not got the. I'm just going to crack on. I've got a job. I was working with my uncle on his building site. I was fine, and he said you should go just have a little buffer before real life kicks in. And you'll learn some great things and meet some good people. And he made a phone call, and I got a phone, and they said, come in for an audition. And
that's a nice reference, isn't it?
That. So, yeah, exactly.
Just Peter Kay.
Yeah. I mean, even then, when he wasn't like who he is now, he was an alumni, and they loved him. So, yes.
You mentioned you have a parent from Ireland. What part of Ireland?
Dublin. Yeah. In fact, I just got my Irish passport this week.
Oh, why?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was well made up.
Get ready for the smuggest look of all time. See when you land in Palma,
mate,
and go past those 6,000 dehydrated British
excited.
People. Oh,
so excited just to be back in the EU.
Because you do such a slow. You're European again.
I'm back.
You feel more European.
I just feel a little bit. I was always very apologetic when I went. We go to Portugal every year, and every so often I feel like I give him a passport and I go, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. I like you.
But you wait. Oh my!
I can't wait. I'm going for it as well.
Because that queue zigzag.
And to be fair, they have made that worse on purpose.
Yeah,
like that is a punishment.
Yeah. The heat, turn the heat up a little bit.
You know they've done that. There's no reason for there to be one bloke doing the all other passports queue.
He looks at every page.
Yeah. You got to stamp it now, and you got to get a new one and all. So
but it's brilliant. You just walk past that queue very slowly and
Yeah, I'm going to be like,
guys.
no, I'm going to be more than that. I'm going to be like, fuck you, you English pricks. I'm going to be
Enjoy the
going,
2 days of the week that you'll get on the ground
be
here.
a bit harsh on my wife and kids, of course, who are still in that queue. What can you do? That's why airports have pubs. I'll see you in 3 hours.
Meet you in Burger King. I mean, you could have got them passports too, you know. But listen, like you say, get out. You need
There's a lot of work just to get me
get
home,
the
to
lay
be
of the
honest.
land ahead of them.
I think they used to give them out a bit easier than they do now, to be fair.
Because also, here's how you know that they just make it difficult for British people, because when you go through and you show them the Irish passport, they don't like do anything different.
No.
So like, I'm convinced you could walk up with a British passport and they're not going to like send you back.
What I want to know is if you fly out on this is admin, not even funny, but just interesting. I wonder if you fly out on one, are you allowed to, like, can you make a decision on the day? Like, if you look
As
at
long
the
as
queues?
you haven't given your passport number, I think.
Right, okay.
You're fine.
Just having a look at the queues.
Because sometimes, because then sometimes I'm like, if I had a British passport, would you? And then if you get caught somewhere with 2 passports, would they start thinking you're like not who you say you are?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
It's like an assassin kind of.
Yeah, they think you're like.
Why would you have 2 passports?
Yeah, of course. I think as long as they've got the same name and photo, I think that's okay. Having 2 different photos and one's a different name, that's when it starts getting ropey.
A moustache and big glasses and another one.
Yeah.
So did you, like, when you the first time you were doing gigs in Dublin?
Yeah.
Does that feel like does that feel special for you, or like does it feel a little bit different?
Yeah, I think there's something about playing Ireland. It's a bit like playing the States, which is there's a deep respect for comedy. Yeah. Because they are one of the world leaders in it. You know, obviously the Americans sort of invented it to a degree, but the Irish have it's part of their history, storytelling, even just not even stand up, just people in pubs and, you know, people in the family that's passed on these great stories and just having that gift of storytelling. So I think there's a real deep respect for comedy that you don't necessarily get certainly in England as much, and I love that. I love that there's a sort of respect for it, but with that respect comes more pressure. Yeah, because in Ireland you rock up. You get a little bit of this in Liverpool, but I think you get a little bit of like, there's blokes in the pub who are really funny.
Oh yeah,
for free.
Yeah. So
you better be
35
euros funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is the dream.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I need to be. So there's the pressure, but there's also the respect, I think. So as long as you hit it, I would never do Ireland at the beginning of a tour.
Yes.
Or I wouldn't do Northern Ireland, I wouldn't do Ireland, I wouldn't do Liverpool, I wouldn't do where else? Glasgow.
Yeah.
Like cities and areas that have got a sense of themselves and know who they are. I think you've got to make sure the show is at its best.
Yes.
You know, before you get to those cities with personality.
Yep. Have you gigged in the... So where do you start?
I start. Well, I start in my hometown. I start in somewhere where there's a bit of local, a bit of, you know, you can get. And also, I start very low. I'm literally like, it's a tenner. Yeah, I'm going to be reading jokes on a bit of paper. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And
like,
you find a lot of people love that, because then they might go to that and then
they
come
often
see
do.
the show,
Yeah, come and see.
They want to see how
things develop. Yeah, and where you were. And also, I love that. That people, maybe it's because of my personality, but I'm very approachable. So people will sometimes, like afterwards, if they catch me, they'll actually say what they think about the stuff, and I find that fascinating, because you can be big-headed as a comic and think, well, what do you know? You're a plumber or you work in Asda or what like that. But actually, they are the people coming to see shows. Of
course,
and yes, every so often, most of the time, they're going to tell you a joke that's already somebody else's or something. But every so often, someone will say something where you go, bloody hell, that is. Yeah, that's actually really, really clever. And because I had a bit on a previous tour about doing a driving course in Manchester. You know, one of these punishments where you drive unawareness or whatever it is for speeding. Yeah,
genuinely.
Did you?
Last week.
What speed were you doing?
Whatever's the least amount you can get caught over the thing. For the purpose of this.
For the purpose of this,
no,
of course.
I was doing a 37 and a 30 temporary roadworks.
Right, got done. Yeah. Well, it's often
hit
that,
a couple of pensioners.
Yeah.
That's the thing they had the issue with.
Yeah, but if anything, they were too slow.
Yeah.
So it could have done with going faster.
No, they were in their house.
It's yeah. So I had this bit about doing a speed awareness course. It was about a guy who'd come down from Glasgow, so they don't have them in Scotland, and he'd come down to Manchester, and it was a really fun bit. It really built, but it was the bit that in your hour that would get a round of applause. But I just had it tucked into a bit about learning how to drive, and then it would come there. And then obviously you get your break, and a guy said to me afterwards, he went, "I love that speed awareness stuff that you do." And I said, "Oh, thank you." He went, "I just thought it was weird where you put it." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He went, "It's just, because it got a round of applause, and then you did a bit more, and then there was a break." But I just thought you were going to end the half on that. And I was like, "Shut up!
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
I've been doing this, man and boy. How dare you?" And literally about 3 days later, I was still thinking about what he said.
Yeah.
And that night I tried it, and he was right.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, that's exactly right. So I think it's important to not, like, even after this long of doing it, you still never know where you're going to get, learn from. You're always learning.
You mentioned gigging in the States. Have you played out there much?
Only a handful of club gigs. Nothing. I've not toured or anything, or tried to break America or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a piece of piss out there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, absolute doddle compared to the clubs in the UK.
Yeah, because there's so many comics there. So So it's like the talent's almost like diluted.
Well, I think their club comics aren't as good as ours. I think their top tier are the best in the world.
Yeah.
So their top level are better than our top level, I would say, to a degree. And they've got people who will go in gigging now, who will go into legendary status, who will join the Priors and people like that. But their club circuit, you probably get 1 in 4 who would smash a Comedy Store or an Empire or whatever.
Plus, you would have the advantage probably of going out there, if it's not one of the main clubs, where like you're going, like say you drop in at the Stand in Glasgow. Well, the whole crowd, the bar suddenly goes way higher because it's you.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas out there, they don't know your stuff.
They don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
So you can drop a greatest hits.
Well, so you're doing your best stuff, but it does take a little bit of adjustment because you've not got that slight shorthand. They don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
Slow your accent down a little bit. I mean, Game of Thrones helped. Because obviously a lot of like north of the wall, there was a lot of that going on, and so they've accustomed their ear now to nothing, Jon Snow, and so we get away with it. But as far as the actual gigs are concerned, they fish out of water always helps and stuff like that. But again, similar to what I said about the Irish, there's a deep respect for stand up, and I think it's just an odd one now because a lot of stand up is what that people see is crowd work.
Yeah.
It's really changed the way people consume stand-up comedy because now the clips people see and that the guys put out there are obviously, they don't want to burn material, so that makes sense. But it's also now leading to a point where people are turning up to comedy and you start doing material and they're like, what about us?
Yeah.
Why have you not found out what I do for a job?
Yeah.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because as a stand-up, I think we all know genuinely that crowd work is one of the easiest things you can do. Like, it's the thing you do when the other stuff isn't working as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's like route one comedy. So for it to become what comedy is, it's quite weird. It's quite a weird thing to do now. So I make a point of my shows sort of saying to the front row, like, don't chill. We're not. I will have a chat with you, and it is interactive. It's not a theatre piece, but I'm not giving it. Oh, you've got glasses. You must be a pedo. You know what I mean? Like, so. So let's. I
didn't know you'd seen my act. I do another podcast with William Thompson and Mickey. I think. Mickey
both
tonight.
Supporting us,
And we were talking a couple of weeks ago. A question came up about who is the greatest white singer of all time. But get ready for this. Names are being banded back and forth. Celine Dion got thrown out. George Michael got thrown out. Mm-hmm. Mickey Bartlett throws out Jason Manford. There's a clip that I'll show you after this. Mickey straight away. We went Celine Dion, George Michael, Mick Hucknall, and then you got thrown in there.
Gosh, he really wants these support slots.
But he was just
He can have them all.
He was just thinking of great white singers, and what a compliment.
Great white singers.
He just threw you in there like nothing.
Take it. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Michael Bublé.
Apparently not.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing but Barbra Streisand.
He's put you on the Mount Rushmore.
What was the clip? I'd love to know what the clip
Well,
was.
it was
What was
literally just that. It was we were talking about
just singing.
And I was like, that's a lot of pressure to
Well,
put
it's
in.
a weird one singing because I love it and I love singing. My family were all in Irish bands. So back in the 50s when my nana first came over to Manchester from Dublin, her and my granddad, they were in a little folk duo.
Right.
And they played the pubs and clubs. And then they had 11 children. They all then became musicians and singers and so I was always like brought up on music and singing and that. So it was great fun.
But the fact that you can sing like opera and things like that, where does that, because that's obviously very different, you know, Irish kind of songs, like Dubliners is more folky kind of.
Yeah, there is that. But if you like, when you listen to some of those like, you know, the Furies and, you know, and when you listen to even like Foster and Allen, like all the, like the classic, like the old schools, like they've got a hell of a voice on them. You know, it's done in a folky style, but they've got some. But I don't know. It's funny because people are still surprised now.
Yeah.
That you can sing, and I find it quite weird. I've not been able to mix it into the set.
Right.
Some people say, "Oh, you're going to sing a song," and some people want you to as well.
Yeah.
They're like, but some people don't.
Yeah.
Men usually. Women are a bit more open-minded. Women are a bit like, I don't mind a little song at the end, but men are a bit like, what's this?
Yeah.
It's not what I've come for.
Because I think the first time I saw a clip of you singing was Ness and Dorma, and I was like,
right,
this is insane. Because you just like you just don't assume that like. You know,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Comics can maybe act. That's like a crossover, but it's just not a. It's not a crossover at all.
No, so it's hard to fit it. Like I said, you can't be giving it. You know, when you're in Tesco, Ness and Dorma, you can't be.
If I could sing, that's exactly what I'd be giving it at every opportunity.
I find the only thing I think is funny is a few years ago, a little thing went viral where I sang some songs from Les Mis because someone basically said to me, "How come you don't sing in your own accent?" And I said, well, that happens a lot. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen to Adele singing and Adele talking, one of them you can't understand. One of them, she sounds like an angel. So, like, that's what you do. You have to sort of round out your vowels. You got to make it so it's nice on the ear. You know what I mean? Singing in a nasally, you know, different if you're Oasis, but you know, singing in a sort of nasally, like, bring him home is like it's not.
if the UB40 guy sang in his own accent,
yes.
Those songs would sound a lot different.
Yeah, UB40 is a weird.
He goes for it, like, doesn't he?
He does, because
he's from Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he was now, he wouldn't be as successful. Like, I think if you sing in a Jamaican accent and you're from Dudley, it's a bit of a struggle. But
Reg wine.
Yeah,
it's not reggae.
No, exactly.
Birmingham is not reggae.
But yeah, I love it. But it still surprises people, and it's and that's why I did so when I did The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
That was one of the funnest experiences I've ever had because obviously nobody knows it's you. You're just a big head jog, you know, for 5-6 weeks.
Isn't that like very secretive to the point where like,
oh my God.
You know, there's shows like that, you know, people straight away like know who it is, or maybe the person's hinting at it and that kind of thing. But you really
when you're filming it, you're not allowed to tell. You sign an NDA, so you're not allowed to tell anybody. I didn't even tell my kids.
Right.
And you don't tell. So when you're driving in, about 20 minutes before you get there, the driver like basically passes you a mask and some gloves, so they can't even see what colour you are. You know, it's like everything. You've got a visor on. They say you've got a big jumper that says "Don't speak to me." Right. And you walk through these doors, and there's no you don't have to say thank you, which is weirdly freeing because I'm quite a polite guy. And so nobody can hear you talk, and you stay in this little room. You don't know who the other contestants are, and you're sort of trying to, because you can hear people on phones. Maybe there was a girl next door in the dress, and I could tell she was operatic. I thought that's
Jenkins.
I thought it was Charlotte Church,
right?
But it was Jenkins.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. But it was who I beat, by the way.
Oh, come on.
Just saying. Oh,
the greatest white singer of all time.
She must have been fuming. Imagine beaten by a
I bet you David Beckham loved it. Remember the females?
Dressed as a head jog. It was a weird old show. I remember. I'll tell you funny actually. There was about 4 weeks in when it was actually going out. Because it's quite freeing because nobody knows it's you, so you can actually perform in a way that you wouldn't do if it was you, because you can just see that bloke giving it. What's he doing?
Yeah.
About 4 weeks in, for a couple of weeks, the judges had guessed Alfie Boe, the actual opera singer.
You'll take that.
Right, which is an absolute compliment, best opera singer Britain's ever produced. So I know Alfie very well. So one night we were chatting on the phone about something else. I said, hey, have you seen this Masked Singer? He said, oh, it's doing me head in. He said, every Saturday I was getting hundreds of tweets of people saying, are you the hedgehog? Are you the hedgehog? He said, so I watched it last Sunday just to see, on Catch Up Live, just to see what this guy is like. And I said, all right, what did you think? He says, well, it's shit. He said his breathing's all over the place. He says, I'm a trained opera singer. This guy sounds opera. He's not really an opera singer, but they're just being tricked by some of the big notes he's getting. Yeah. So, but his breathing's all over the place. I said, well, maybe the mask's fucking heavy. Have you thought about that? Maybe holding them spikes on his back is weighing him down, you prick. And you thought about that? And then when the final came out and obviously take it off and it was me, I did get a little text of him saying, sorry about that. I owe you a pint.
I just love that. I think my favourite part is the Don't Speak to Me jumper.
I've still got it.
I mean, I feel
train.
like the guy with the visor, the blindfold and the gloves on, it's a given.
Yeah.
Don't speak to him.
Don't speak to him. Yeah, you need the jumper as well.
What I love on that show is the way they guess who the judges think it's going to be. They're like, this might be...
Obama?
Is it Robert De Niro?
I know, yeah.
Is it?
I know, they're mad, aren't they? Yeah. Have you seen the ITV budget? What do you reckon? Do you think it's going to be Michelle Obama or Nicola Roberts? Like, who do you reckon?
Was that like, when you got asked to do that, is that like the perfect thing you could do?
It was perfect, and it come out just at the beginning of lockdown, so like 12 million people watched it. Like, it was massive as well. And I remember there was a weird moment, like I said, because you don't know anybody, so but you're nervous. It's really nerve-wracking. Yeah. And I've never really been in like a competition type thing like that before, and singing and all. You get one shot, and you are singing in that mask as well, so it's it's hot and heavy, is it? And I remember backstage, the performers are all, and we're sort of like holding hands. But obviously I don't know who these people are. I'm just holding hands with a silver fox and a monster. Like that. Like giving thumbs up, they can't see you. I can see that way. Okay, all right, I'm ready. And I remember going out, and it was only like week 6, the monster's head come off, and it was CeeLo Green. And I thought, I was holding that guy's hand 4 weeks.
What I love is that moment. It's a huge part of why I watch it, is when the real pop stars take the mask off when they're kicked out and have to pretend to not be raging.
Fuming.
When they're like, they have a laugh, they go, I can't believe it's CeeLo Green, and he has to go, come on guys. But he's dead inside.
Absolutely.
Because Roy Cropper's still in.
Yeah.
Adam Woodgett's still to go.
Yeah, it must be hard for him. I must say, I think, Catherine was very magnanimous, but I'm sure she was pretty annoyed. So come third to after us. But
and who won? Who came first?
Nicola Roberts.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she won, and she was brilliant. But and actually, and for her, that's a brilliant start for something she wants to do. But for me, I was a bit raging because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of these shows, especially the reality ones, you get paid the same. No, irrespective of how many episodes you do. So if you go out your agents negotiate, this is how much he's getting. Yeah. I don't know if Strictly's different now, but Strictly, all them, you get paid the same. So for someone like me, who's not, I'm just in it because I'd like to get paid and, it's a bit of fun and stuff like that, but really I need to get back to my proper job. You don't want to go out first.
Yes.
No one's got that. No one's got that small of an ego. But week 2,
perfect.
Well, not to worry. Cha-ching. Yeah. So to be in it till the end and still only come second, so you've not even got the title. You're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they're all good fun though.
What was the first show like that you ever did? Like when you started stand up, what was your first like TV thing as a result of your stand up?
8 out of 10 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was, and again,
you were a captain.
I was really lucky actually, and I've sort of got Piers Morgan to thank for it in an odd way, not in a nice way, not in a way that you thought, oh, what a nice guy. No, what had happened was
You're going to tell me he's a bit of a dick?
Look, I mean, if you've
First
not
I've
come
heard
to
of.
that conclusion already, a professional one though.
He's great at it.
He's very good, one of the best. He was a guest on 8 out of 10 Cats. I was on Dave Spikey's team. Dave was the captain. And for some reason, I think he must have just seen me as like, maybe I was the weak link because nobody knew who I was. I was just a comic, you know, and everyone, he certainly wasn't going to go after Sean Locke.
Yeah.
You know, because Sean would take him down. He certainly wasn't, Jimmy Carr's not going to take him down. And so rather than just be celebratory and fun, which comics are, we're very supportive on those shows. We try and, you know, encourage each other. He was just kept like having a go at us being northern. There was something about being overweight. He called me fat at some point, you know. And the audience was sort of not really going for it. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but I remember there was just that moment where it's a bit of a heckle put down line, to be honest, where he really went for a joke about me and it got nothing.
Yeah.
And it just settled for a second, and I sort of very quietly went, it's hard being funny, isn't it? You know, just that sort of heckle put down line, which got a good laugh. And then it happened a couple of times. And then, to be fair to him, there was a moment where he put his hands up and went, "All right, I'm beaten here." You know, that sort of thing. And he was very magnanimous. But anyway, off the back of that, I think maybe a couple of weeks later, Dave Spikey had decided he wanted to leave, and maybe that episode was fresh in the minds of the producers, and they said, "Oh well, this guy, let's get him. Peter Kay's busy. Let's get this guy." So and I did that for 5 seasons.
And that must have been great because that was mainly comic, you know.
Yeah, great comic, and also but discipline, because you'd get the news pack on the Monday, you'd write all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, Thursday was like going through it, taking out gags, work. You know, you'd maybe do a little gig on the Wednesday night to test some stuff out, and then Thursday you'd record it for Friday record. So yeah, it was great.
And was there ever one, like, do you ever do like a TV type project that during it you were like, why have I agreed to do this?
Yeah, I've been a few times. I suppose there's the odd show I did one called Odd One In that Bradley Walsh hosted, and I was a team captain, and Peter Andre was the other team captain. He was a lovely, lovely man, but it's hard if you're trying to like do gags and stuff like that. It's just a difficult vibe. Do you know what I mean? When you've not got someone who's also a comic on the other side, you know. And so that was a tough one, and it was.
Have you or will you be going to see his new movie?
Do you know what? I've heard good things. In
the
fact,
movie where he plays the Jamaican?
Yeah. I feel like, well, he's basically like the acting version of UB40. So if he could always use as a reason. You go, oh, UB40 did it.
How did his agent sell it to him? Hey, Peter, do you want to go to Jamaica to shoot a movie? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You will also be fully Jamaican.
One thing. Yeah, it's a tough career choice. Yeah. But he's nice enough to get away with it, I think.
He was an okay
lovely
guy?
man, so nice, just nice. Pete, you rarely meet a proper knob, you know what I mean?
Right,
most
right.
people are nice, I think. So you get the odd one.
Yeah. When you finish a tour, do you what's your approach? Do you put like a big gap in between
Not
tours?
on this one actually. We finish in April next year, and then I've got a week off, and then I start a musical. We're doing one in Manchester for a couple of months just to sort of get it on the ground.
See, as a comic, Reb, I've been asked to like only audition like for like plays and things like that, and the rare times that I get to see a play, I love it because it's kind of similar to what we do. It's people coming to see a thing on stage,
but someone else has written it.
It's so different.
She's lovely,
and it's you know, I'm watching the audience as much as I'm watching it, and it can be so like captivating. But I think because it's a group thing as well.
Yeah,
I'm like they're all relying on each other. But what always puts me off is I love how like instant stand up is.
Yes,
and yeah, we're doing work in progress shows and what you're talking about of testing it out in smaller audiences, but the idea of like intensive rehearsals with a lot of other people.
Yeah.
I would really struggle with that. I
think you once you did it, you wouldn't. I think there's something about what I love is after being by myself for 18 months, 280 days, whatever, to join a group of really talented people who are funny and fun and, you know, and talented. There's something about that, like, and you become a bit of a family for a little bit, and you're together, and you are relying on each other, and you learn an incredible amount from these performers that then you can take and put into your stand-up.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I've learnt stuff from, the Corey English, who I did the producers with, Becky Locke, who I did curtains with, and then getting to work with other comics. Ross Noble, I did a musical with him, and Phil Jupiter, people like that. So you just pick up, I think, from what they're doing.
Yeah.
Bits of advice, bits of performance skills and stuff. I think it just adds another layer to your stand-up. I find myself now acting out a lot more of my stories in my stand-up rather than just telling you what happened or what might happen. I find myself doing different characters just to build that, and that comes from that, I think.
Yeah, and I think when you're doing especially like a tour-length show,
yes,
having physical type bits really helps kind of break it up to keep the audience.
Yeah, you got to. I say, like, you like your warm-ups, Usain Bolt, and you're Mo Farah. You've got to do that. You've got to do an hour and a half, and keep them entertained and keep them going. So you've got to mix it up a bit. It can't just be you just monotonous all the way through.
Have you ever heard of a singer, a guy who did one of the original like Les Mis called Colm Wilkinson?
Oh yeah, fabulous.
I saw him in the Late Late Show on RTE once, just
voice.
flicking channels. Saw him singing Bring
Him Home.
Bring Him
It
Home.
would have been, that's one of his.
And I didn't know Les Mis and stuff at all.
Yeah.
And then I just like got so into hearing him sing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't know he's like this Irish singer. He's like a legend in that kind
he
of
is
Broadway, and he's done.
Yeah, he's next level. It's when you perform with people like that, and you just. It's like doing kick-ups next to Pele, just these people on next level.
Is Broadway something you would love to do? Like,
I'd love to try and do something over there. I feel like I'd like to mix up I think they'd be a bit more receptive to a mix of cabaret, maybe stand-up stories and music. I've done that a little bit on cruises and stuff. Because obviously, if you can sing, you can do what the other singers are doing. But then, what a lot of singers haven't got is the chat in between. That I think might be something. I also think there's a world where I've been watching a lot of Nate Bargatze and who's fantastic. And Jimmy Carr rang me actually, and we were chatting about Nate and just saying. I mean, I don't know if the numbers are true, but Jimmy was like, "This guy has made $60 million in the last year, and he's not left America."
And he's also probably able to walk down the street because he's got that thing of he's not like
he's an everyone,
celebrity.
Isn't he? Yes, exactly.
He's just and he's clean as well.
Well, that's the thing. So Jimmy said to me, "Look, there's a market here for clean comedy," and I'm just looking at the British circuit, and there's actually only you and a couple of others who could probably get away. Not that I'm a. I've got this swearing in my show. I talk about Dion Dublin's massive penis. There's stories in there that maybe are not family friendly. But
he calls that the doob, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, no, that's the hammer from. That's what the show's about. Have you ever seen it?
I'm just picturing Dion on the roof.
Yeah. But so the tour does. We go into different areas. But there is a world where you go, actually, there's because I was very careful about swearing. I don't know what your set's like when it comes to, you just go for it.
I don't do a lot of it at all, but I've never made the decision to not do it.
I think it's an interesting choice for comics. I think because most people are not bothered, and you say that whatever swear words it's not going to. But there are some people it does sit differently. In their ears, and they're not wrong or right. It's just a different style. And what I found myself doing quite early on, somebody said to me, if you do that set, and I was swearing a lot, just more, you use it sometimes for filler. You can't think of anything to say, you just, fuck it, you just sort of fit it in there. And somebody said to me, with producers, when they're watching you, rather than get them to do some work, trying to think, right, if that was cleaned up, would it work on this TV show? Just clean it up first. And what you find now, so what I do early on is I obviously record all the shows. When I watch them back, I look at the swearing and I take out the non-essential swearing.
Yes,
There are always going to be jokes that are funnier if you swear.
But you've built it up a bit, and then
it's got impact. You know, I always like the example I always use is the fellow who goes for a job interview. So the guy goes for a job interview. The interviewer says, "What's your biggest weakness?" And he says, "Honesty. I'm too honest." He says, "Well, that's not a weakness." He says, "I don't give a fuck what you think." Right? So that only works with a swear word. It's only funny because of that swearing in there. So I think it's something, if you're a newer comic, I definitely think it's worth, and it's different in different accents and stuff like that, but it's certainly something I'd look at.
I think people, even other stand-ups assume I'm clean.
Right.
But I actually do swear a little bit.
Yeah,
I just don't think you notice it.
Yes,
too much.
Accent helps as well, I think.
Yeah, and I think we do swear a lot anyway, so it's not that noticeable.
Yeah.
Whereas if like a London comic curses, maybe
the accent's a bit harsher.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
When I'm on tour, I play. I like to go out and play sport and stuff, but I'm a big football manager guy.
Oh yeah.
Do you have another thing on tour where you're like, this is a little tour thing for me?
Yeah, I did. I've been through the football manager thing. I streamed it for a while. Started doing it on my YouTube channel, just sort of playing football when that sort of was a thing.
Because I worry I wouldn't be respected as much because I don't bother with training. I'm.
Oh right.
I'm more of an old school manager. I'm not a first team coach.
Okay.
I just I'm going to pick the team. Mm-hmm. I want to have a say in transfers. I'll make all the substitutions and stuff, but I'm not going to be a training all the time.
When I was younger, because how old are you?
37.
37, right. So I'm sort of 10 years old, whatever. But when I was younger, there was one of the first management games was like Premier League manager,
right.
And you had to select who was on the advertising boards. I mean, it was so detailed.
That's what I want.
Oh, that was too much.
I like the I also don't watch the game.
Right.
No, like the. No, okay. I'm in the stadium. I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm at my
just
house.
having a hot dog.
But I'm like I make the game go as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I do only commentary. I'm not watching the wee things run about.
No, I know what you mean. I'm a bit like that. I love it though. I play it quite a lot, but I do find it saps your time when you have a little look at how much time you spent on it, and it's not even in hours. It's in days.
Yeah.
You think, hang on.
I do like if I'm doing like a small tour in the States or like going to Australia, that's when I play it now because it's a real novelty for me.
Thing, yeah.
So I just get like straight in there.
Well, it's massive, isn't it? It's a massive. I mean, I actually coach my daughter's football team now on a weekend,
right?
And I think some of those skills, from the game, has come in.
Yeah.
It's really helped me out. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've got no Freddie Adu, but I've got Molly B.
Yeah,
and
you can't pick Moses Ashikori for your daughter's team. 8 people watching will love that.
I know, yeah, really specific.
I was nearly going to drop a Tonton Zolomoki Yuko, but I won't.
But I do love that. She's that's like under 12s girls team. Been playing for a year, and we. It's and it is joyous. Like so, I do, and funnily enough, I do feel some of those like that excitement. Well, more so because it's real. But I love it, and just being involved in that level as well, because they're only just finding out what football is.
Yeah.
And they're so funny. I mean, we started last season, we got beat 33-0. Like, it's pretty hard. It's hard, man. It's really hard.
At 32-0, were you like, we're still in it, guys? It's all to play for.
Just keep your heads up.
We get the next one, they'll
crumble. It's a game of momentum. No, it's one of those where what I loved was just a little moment. So there was 2 of us, and obviously our daughters are not listening to us, so he'd have to speak to my daughter.
Get you.
And there was a moment where I said to my daughter, I'd said to them at half-time, I said, look, the key area is just to keep talking, right? So just keep talking, have a little look up where people are, and just keep talking. So you know where, right, there. I've got that ball. I want that ball. Just keep talking. So it's all going well, and then I turn around, and the goalkeeper, who's the best friend of my daughter, both just stood there on the penalty spot. The ball's up there, just stood there, and I said, "What are you doing?" Shouting at my own daughter. I said, "What are you doing?" She went, "You said to keep talking." I'm like, this is so you're going so far back to basics.
That
you can't, like, even if you shout "man on," they're going, "What are you talking about?" Like we're 12-year-old girls. Like, so you've got to like strip everything you know about football and start again. But
do you recommend that? Because I'm just about to. So my big son is 5. And
right.
This week or next week, I'm going to start coaching his little team.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, to be honest, as long as you get the DBS, that's the only thing I'm worried about, to be honest.
What's that?
You know, the check to make sure you're all right around children and stuff.
Why, are you worried about me not getting it?
No, I'm just not. I'm not.
Thank God. I'll speak to...
Oh, I didn't know there was one of them. No, I'll leave it.
How suspicious would it be if the day before you're like, I've thought about it, I'm going to not...
It's not for me. It's not for me. What, you check hard drives? No,
but I'm worried about you know, just the fact that it's my son playing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm very much like, I would, because haven't played football since I was no age. I've seen it all. I've seen like horrifically pushy dads and mums.
I mean, some of the parents. I mean, honestly, oh, do you see that goal, Jay's top bins? I'm like, yeah. She's free. The keeper's 3'2" in full size nets, and she was looking at her pigeons. So don't buy the house just yet. She's not Jill Scott. You know, so yeah, there's a bit of that. You've got now they've got like a respect line and all. Like,
really?
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and like it builds as well. So like we've just stepped up to 9-a-side. Now there's offside rules. There's there's all sorts.
If
of
you
things,
stand behind the respect line, can you do whatever you want?
Yeah, you can be disrespectful.
Even if you're an inch behind that line.
Yeah. I would say genuinely, I was as a dad, and I'd never give advice to parents. I hate it, but as a dad, I've sort of got almost like a second wing. So I've got my daughters are 16, 17, and I didn't do that. I just worked.
Yes.
And I sort of missed out on a lot of that.
Yeah.
My daughter's 10 and my son's 7, and I'm fully involved in that. And I love it, but it makes me wish I'd have done it.
Yeah, I know
early
what you
on
mean.
as well.
Yeah,
so I think it is important to do it, and it is
Yeah.
important to be part of that if you can, do it.
Yeah,
And like I say, you got all your skills from Football Manager.
Oh yeah.
So I actually got a reference in Football Manager once on in the credits, which I was delighted about 2009, I think it was, that season.
That's great.
Yeah, it was. What's your man who runs it? Oh, what's his name? The main guy who owns SI Sports. Oh, it's gone out of my head.
But
now.
to be in the credit, like a few.
Yeah.
So the team I played for, my hometown team, we were in it.
Oh wow.
But it was only like the I was going to say the 10 best players.
Yeah.
There's 11 players in a team, that would be a real kick in the teeth. But like, it's when I was a kid, but the best first team players were in it.
Oh wow.
And I remember being
you knew those
awe of these guys at training.
Personally, yeah.
Being like, and it wasn't good. It was like his finishing's 3 out of 20.
Yeah.
But like,
But still.
I'm with him. I'm
Yeah,
doing the same
amazing.
training session. But I just like, when I go down to watch my son's football, of course I want him to do great.
Yeah.
But I try not to get involved as much as possible to just let him have fun.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
has to
but
be a bit about fun.
But then I do want to be at his training. I do want to go, experience it all with him and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to think, he's sub.
No, he is. It's not point and click now.
Yeah.
This is real life, Dad.
He's got the "don't talk to me" jumper on after hooking him in the 3rd minute.
Well, I did a routine about Football Manager on Live at the Apollo.
Oh, was it about wearing a suit for a cup final?
Yeah, so it was.
I remember that.
Yeah, so it was. I had a whole routine about and it was one of those weird ones where they said, "Go on."
Were you not talking to Micah Richards?
Micah Richards.
I remember that bit.
Yeah. And Pete,
I did it for about 4 years.
I get blokes now. It's one of those routines that are stuck in people's minds, But what was interesting at the time was, so I did this routine, and it was sort of based on a true story, where I'd met Micah Richards at a charity event, and everyone was dead excited to meet, and I wasn't that arsed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And then my dad afterwards was like, I thought you could have been a bit friendlier to Micah Richards. And I was thinking, yeah, I am. I wonder why. And it was afterwards I realised that on Football Manager, I'd like subbed him off maybe or fined him a week's wages or something. And on the thing it said, Micah Richards hates Jason Manford. Like that was in his little bio. So it must have just sat there for ages, And so I had this little routine and a whole thing about Man City signing Robinho which was just like a really exciting moment in football history, and this is what I find interesting about stand-up, because we're sort of like the sort of gatekeeper to the zeitgeist, if you will. So if something ends up in a stand-up's set, it's popular. Like it's popular enough for us to risk talking about it in front of hundreds or thousands of people and hopefully get a laugh from it, and that's why I ended up with this little credit. They got in touch with me to say, we played your clip at like a team building meeting to say, look how far we've come. We're on BBC One on mainstream telly because this game must be really popular because people are laughing about it because they know about it, and I suppose that sort of shows you how far we've come now because of the way we consume entertainment. It's rare now to find those nuggets of games or films or TV shows or even singers and stuff, because we all 3 million people watch that, 200,000 people watch that. Yeah. It's not 20 million people watch this.
Yeah.
So you get the odd one. Traitors probably you could do a routine about, and
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, we love it.
I'm obsessed.
Have you watched the Irish one?
I went and did RTE their after show, and I'd never seen even the UK one.
Right.
And I drove straight home. We watched the UK one in like 6 nights.
Oh, it's fab.
Just bang bang.
Well,
Have you watching the Irish one?
I've just started watching the Irish one last week. It's incredible.
I'm not any spoilers.
No, but
insane.
the sarcasm is on another level.
Because the UK one, like, they want to win, but they're being
polite.
kind of like nice to each
Too
other,
nice.
and they want to have good etiquette. The Irish ones,
I
like,
think the Irish. I've watched New Zealand. I've watched America. The Irish.
the
one
difference in the
is
Irish one, where they're like, you get to murder someone tonight, is they try to murder them.
Yeah, like when they wake up, when they realise they're still alive, they're like, oh, I've been missold this show.
I would love to do the play the traitors.
Yes,
Like the real one.
yeah.
It would be great.
It's a great show, but like I said, as a stand-up, there's only a few, even moments that happen throughout the year. I noticed it because I do the Panto in Manchester, and so do
you mind if I say, oh no, you don't?
I think if I'd be
no,
disappointed if you didn't, yeah. But which is great. But again, there's years ago you would pick 7, 8, 10 references throughout the year, a Simon Cowell thing, and they'd all get a big laugh. And now we're just looking at the script now, going, that couple.
It's going to be gone.
Well, basically, you're like that couple who got found out at the Coldplay gig with the camera.
Yeah.
Like that was a big moment. And then after that, what were the big moments?
And things come in, and it used to be that we would talk about things for weeks, months.
Oh yeah.
Now something happens and it's an intense day.
Yeah.
And then that thing's gone.
We went to the co-op to watch Olivia Rodrigo, me and my daughters. So there's like 10 of us there. I went to see it. And this is the biggest arena in the country. It can fit 20,000 people in there. We were there a week earlier. Lionel Richie with my mum, with Lewis Capaldi in a few weeks. All these people playing, and the show on the TV screen, they're showing all the people who are coming up, and they go, right, here's Drake. Okay, I'm aware of Drake, And then there was 3 singers on the bounce that have sold out 20,000 tickets who have not got a clue who they are. And that's not just an age thing, because we all had that. Even when we were younger, our parents knew who Oasis were and Blue.
Yes.
So now there's this whole way of consuming entertainment that people are able to get to that level.
Yeah.
And yet most people here never heard of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating.
And how crazy that, like, you're taking your daughters there, and it's your home city, and then you're playing it.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. We went to see her, and my daughter's got this like sassy best friend. She's like 10.
Not the goalkeeper.
10. She's not the goalkeeper. No. She's a sassy best friend. And anyway, walking up there, and on the screen is all the people playing, and then my poster pops up. She goes, "That you?" I went, "Yeah, it is." She said, "You're here," and I said, "Yeah." She went, "Which room?" I was like, "What do you mean, which room? The room? Like, what do you think? There's like a bar area." I said, "In there, in the same place as Olivia Rodrigo." She went, "What do you do?" I said, "Comedian, tell jokes." Like, she went, "Are you funny?" I said, "Yeah, to some people, enough people, find us funny that we're doing this room." Anyway, on the way home, I dropped everybody off, and I said to my daughter, I said, what do you tell your friends? Because I just spoke to Molly B there, and not a clue. Well, and I get it if you work in finance or you're an estate agent. Not necessarily something 10, 11-year-olds are talking about, but surely, you think it's interesting enough that it comes up in conversation. I said, "What do you tell everybody that I do?" And she just went, "Panto." 4 weeks a year. 4 weeks a year. But that's the only thing relevant to that age group, so they're not bothered, are they, the rest of it? But yeah, it was a pretty humbling moment there.
When is is that the end? That's it?
No, actually, it's not. That's just before October half term. That is. So yeah, in a few weeks' time, and we're filming it as well. So that'll go out on Sky, and that'll be the first one that's filmed in the co-op as well, which will be great. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then the tour carries on then till April. And
Class.
We've got a few Raw Variety we're doing, and then obviously Panto and Big Night of Musicals for the BBC. We're doing that in January. So yeah, it's busy old time.
I'm fitting the paddling.
And then, of course, it all fitting around paddle. And then I think we're back up here a few times as well. We've got a few more back at Ulster Hall again.
Oh, okay. We'll put the link to that.
Yeah, great. That'd be lovely.
And we can play paddle that day.
Let's get that game.
That'll give me enough time to get semi-decent at it.
Yeah, let's get that game. Well, I've got to say, this is a better interview than the last one I had in Northern Ireland. I
Nolan?
had Nolan.
I'd be more hard hitting. Like,
Well, yeah, yeah, just less of a shit stirrer. if
what
I'm
was he
honest.
trying to get you on?
No, do you know what it was? It was. This is years ago, actually.
Jason.
This was years ago, and we were over at the Opera House.
Why are you dressing up as a hedgehog, Jason?
Where's your respect? And we were doing, you know, Alfie Bo. We were doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Not you and Nolan?
The musical. No, yeah, he was the child catcher.
Come here.
Children. He was, yeah. So we were over. Me and Phil Jupiter. Phil was in it as well, and anyway, they said to us, "Would you go on Stephen's show one evening?" I said, "Yeah, fine, yeah, no problem." They said, "Oh, it's like the One show. It's just a bit of a light-hearted chat of an evening." I thought,
Nope.
"Oh, great, nice and easy, no problem." So. Anyway, on the way over there, we were sort of chatting about it. Now, earlier on, this is a long time ago now, but earlier on that week, there'd been a car bombing, and I think maybe somebody had died as well. It was like quite obviously a very serious situation. And they said, "Oh, we're going to be talking about it on the show," and also the sugar tax was a big thing at the time as well. And then because you guys are getting there late, we'll get you on at the end. And so I just said to them on the way over, I said, "Look, can I just make a suggestion?" I said, "Stick the sugar tax in the middle." Just soften this.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? Get the serious chat, you know, where they've got
Absolutely.
people round a round table screaming at each other.
Was it the TV show?
Yeah. Oh, it's the TV show, yeah. Is it on Fridays? Is it Friday nights? Is it something? Yeah.
Nolan Live, yeah.
Yeah. So they got people screaming at each other around this table, and I said, let's stick sugar tax on, and then we'll come on at the end and chat about our lovely light-hearted family musical. But for whatever reason, somebody thought it was better to start with sugar tax, then do this really emotional, passionate, angry, literally people screaming in each other's faces.
Yep.
And then they were like, all right, let's go to chatting. And you realise you could not be in a worse named musical when there's been a car bombing in the local area. When you're talking about this magical car that goes bang, bang. It really, it didn't sell it. It really did. And all the way through, we just go, don't say the title. Don't say the title. It was one of the weirdest
I used
experiences.
to do warm up for that. There was stand up warm up for that, and it was nuts because, like you say, they would go from something horrific during the Troubles, and they would cut the man off like mid sentence as everyone's in tears and angry to be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Spandau Ballet," and like the saxophone's going and everyone on stage is just like staring at the ground.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it's a weird format.
Martin Kemp ignored me in a corridor
Oh,
during the run. That was the worst thing that happened.
all right. Well, there you go.
I said hello to him and he just kept
Blanked you.
But a lot of times passing, a lot of water under the bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure.
Who's on top now?
Kemp? he's still there. Jason, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thanks for asking me to
calling
pop
down.
on. So
I
nice.
really appreciate it.
Not at all. Lovely. I'm
and
glad
good
it's
luck
going
with all
well
the
for you.
shows. And we'll paddle when you're doing Australia.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.